Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. So it's been almost exactly 1 year since I got my first tarantula, Peanut. So it's kind of her birthday. And she's grown so much and she's starting to seem a little bit cramped in her old enclosure. So for before her birthday, I've decided to give her a new home. And Peanut is a Caribena Versicolor, which is an arboreal tarantula. So she needs an enclosure that has more vertical space where she'll make her web up high. And you may have seen a few months ago where I cracked the vivarium that housed my tiger-legged monkey tree frogs and had to redo that one. So with this vivarium having some pretty bad cracks in it, it won't hold water, but it could still work for a tarantula because it won't be that wet at all. This is a ZoomEd 18 by 18 by 24 front opening terrarium. And I am aware that this is a very large enclosure for this tarantula. But I'm really curious if she might actually use some of that extra space. Tarantulas don't generally come out of their webs very often, and when they do, they don't venture very far from their webs. My only real concern with this is that it does give a lot of extra space for her prey items to stay away from her. So I'll just have to watch close and make sure that she's getting her food. And as you can see, I'm not in the reptile room, and that's because I've decided to put this vivarium on my desk in the office where I work on videos. I really like the background that was already in this terrarium, so I just cleaned it up and left this background in place. It has some really nice wood pieces attached to it and has a lot of different anchor points for webbing. I think given some time, she's going to make a fantastic web structure in here. She has a lot of different options for where to do that. I've added a tube of bark that might entice her to use that, as well as these other anchor points. We'll just have to wait and see what she decides to do. She might prefer to just go to the very top, and that's fine if that's what she wants to do. And for her safety, I've also removed the screen from the top and replaced that with a piece of plexiglass with a lot of holes drilled in it for ventilation. I attached a small water bowl to one of the wood pieces on the background. And I've decided to wait until Peanut settles into this enclosure before adding any final touches like plants or more moss. I want to see where she wants to make her web before adding any final touches. So I have this new vivarium all ready to go, and the only thing left to do is move Peanut from her old enclosure into the new one. And I have to admit, I'm really nervous about it, and that's not because I'm afraid of Peanut, but I don't have that much experience rehousing tarantulas, and I don't want to hurt her, and I definitely don't want her to get away from me and be running around in my house. So what I'm going to do to start off with is move everything out of her old enclosure and hopefully entice her to venture out of her old enclosure on her own without too much intervention from me. And if that doesn't happen, then, which it probably won't, then we'll see and just go from there. And all of this went very smoothly because once I pulled away Peanut's bark, she just decided to stay in her web. Then it just became a matter of gently poking her out of her web. And once I convinced her to leave the security of her web, it only took a few minutes for her to settle down and start exploring her new home. And for now, I'll just leave you with some footage of Peanut checking out her new home. Thanks for watching, and I'll look forward to seeing you in the next video.